The empty seat. Have you ever noticed how some things just don't add up in life? Let me tell you about something strange that happened at my old high school. It was one of those things that everyone saw but nobody talked about, kind of like that weird uncle at family gatherings. There was this desk right at the back of room 237. Nothing special about it at first glance, just your typical scratched up wooden desk with gum stuck underneath. But here's where things get weird. Every single morning, without fail, some new kid would be sitting there. They'd be perfectly normal, maybe a bit quiet, but normal. The teachers never seemed to notice anything unusual. They'd call out their names during attendance like everything was fine. These students would answer questions, take notes, do everything a regular student would do. But then, lunch break would come, and they'd vanish just like that. Not just from class. Their names would disappear from the attendance sheet like they were never there. No explanation, no goodbye, nothing. The next day, another student would be there and the cycle would repeat. We started keeping track after a while. Sarah on Monday disappeared by 12:15. Marcus on Tuesday gone by 12:30. Emily on Wednesday, you get the picture. Some of us tried asking the teachers about it, but they'd just change the subject or look at us like we were speaking another language. What made it even creepier was how nobody else seemed bothered by it. The administration never investigated, parents never came looking, and even the most gossipy students would forget about it by the next day. It was like some sort of collective amnesia. I graduated years ago, but sometimes I still think about that empty desk and all those vanishing students. Sometimes I wonder if anyone else remembers, or if I'm the only one who still carries this mystery. And sometimes late at night, I wonder, what if I had sat in that desk? Would anyone remember me? The strangest part? I went back to visit my old school last year. Room 237 is still there, and so is that desk. And just like before, every morning a new student sits there, and every afternoon that seat becomes empty again, waiting for tomorrow's temporary occupant. Makes you think twice about where you choose to sit, doesn't it? Story 2, the locker that breathes. Have you ever walked past a school locker and felt something off? Like a subtle warmth radiating from the cold metal, or maybe even the faintest rhythm, like a heartbeat. Let me tell you about Locker 313. I'm a janitor at Riverside High, and I've worked here for nearly 2 decades. Every night as I make my rounds through these empty hallways, there's always been something strange about that particular locker. While all the others feel cool to the touch, 313 has always been inexplicably warm, like it's been sitting in the sun all day, even in the dead of winter. Students would occasionally mention it too. Some claimed they could hear faint whispers coming from inside, while others swore they felt it, breathing. But you know how teenagers are with their stories, right? We all dismissed it as just another school urban legend. That was until last week. After years of curiosity and mounting complaints about strange sounds, the administration finally decided to investigate. The thing is, there was no record of anyone using this locker for over 30 years. No assigned student, no registered combination, nothing. When we brought in the locksmith, something felt different. The air around us seemed heavier, almost electric. As he worked on the lock, I could have sworn I heard something inside shifting, adjusting, like it knew what was coming. The moment that door swung open, everything we thought we knew about reality changed. Instead of the usual empty metal box, we found ourselves staring at something impossible. A wall of flesh pulsing with visible veins, moving in perfect rhythm like a giant heart. But that wasn't even the most terrifying part. Stuck to this living, breathing surface was a yellowed student ID card from 1987. As I reached out with trembling hands to examine it, my blood ran cold. The face on that 36-year-old card was mine. Not a younger version of me, exactly as I look today. We sealed that locker immediately, but questions keep me awake at night. What exactly is behind that door? How does it connect to me? And most troubling of all, was it waiting for me all these years, or did I somehow create it? Sometimes late at night, when the school is empty and silent, I still pass by Locker 313. The warmth seems more intense now, more deliberate. And if I press my ear against it, I swear I can hear something that sounds like my own voice, whispering words I can't quite make out. Yet. Story, the repeating lesson. Let me tell you about something strange that happened in Mrs. Peterson's 8th grade class last Friday. You know how substitute teachers can be a bit different? Well, this one took it to a whole new level. The moment she walked in, something felt off. She didn't introduce herself, didn't take attendance, didn't even look at the lesson plan on the desk. Instead, she went straight to the whiteboard and started writing, "You will learn this eventually." At first, we thought it was just the beginning of some lesson. But she kept writing it, over and over, the same sentence. for an entire hour. Some kids giggled, others passed notes, a few even tried asking questions. But she just kept writing, her hand moving in this weird, mechanical way. The sound of the marker squeaking against the board became hypnotic. The sentence covered every inch of white space, getting smaller and more cramped toward the bottom. I remember looking at the clock, 2:47 p.m. That's when Jake, who sits in the front row, finally raised his hand and read it out loud. "You will learn this eventually." The moment those words left his mouth, every light in the classroom went out at once. Not flickered, not dimmed, just snap, total darkness, and then that smell. You know when you accidentally touch your hair with a curling iron? That sharp, acrid smell of burning hair filled the room. When the lights came back on 5 seconds later, the substitute was gone. The board was completely clean. No writing, no marker smudges, nothing. But that smell, it lingered for days. And here's the creepiest part. None of the other classes had a substitute that day. According to the office, no substitute teacher was even scheduled. Some say it was just a prank. Others think it was a shared hallucination. But whenever I smell burning hair now, I can't help but wonder, what exactly were we supposed to learn that day?